Todd, good morning to you. Today, divers are expected to return to the crash site as they work with the NTSB to begin debris removal as they also continue this investigation, trying to find what's left of both the helicopter and the regional jet involved. Overnight, we also learned through the NTSB that they've recovered both the cockpit data recorder as well as the cockpit voice recorder. They're now in a government lab for evaluation. These are photos from the NTSB. They say it'll be at least a month, if not longer, before a preliminary report is released about the crash. They also caution it is far too soon to know whether or not air traffic control staffing was at the level needed to prevent a crash or if there was communications issues between the aircraft involved. On Thursday, President Trump appointed a new acting head of the FAA, also signed an executive order directing the government to review all federal aviation hiring and safety decisions.
You feel like what happened last night was preventable?
I do, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And obviously, that was something that should not have happened. And we're not going to let it happen again.
On Capitol Hill, some lawmakers are accusing Trump of politicizing the tragedy, but there's already talk from lawmakers about holding hearings to look into the crash. One of the big questions has been about whether or not there's too much congestion over the skies here in Washington. Not only do we have 3 airports around here, including Reagan National behind me, but you have a lot of military traffic that is continuing to go up and down the Potomac. We haven't seen as many choppers out here, Todd, since the crash happened, but we'll look to see if whether or not the traffic returns as the sun comes up.
So I don't know exactly how the staffing occurred in that particular air traffic control tower. And it sounds like there was a shortage, and the investigation will tell us more about that. But the environment around which we choose pilots or air traffic controllers, as the president pointed out correctly yesterday, better be the highest possible standard, the best of the best who are managing, multiple flights. I mean, a flight a minute and managing radio traffic. I think the closest analogy to military service, guys, is pilots or air traffic controllers. I don't care what background they come from, what their race is, what their gender is, if they're rich or they're poor. I just need them to be good at their job because I need my flight to land safely. The same thing applies to the Defense Department, to our military. I don't care about your background, your gender, or your skin color. I want the best. And that's why when the president says merit-based and colorblind, he's exactly right across government. So he's correct to point out at the FAA or in our flights, it should not be about anything other than excellence. That's it. Excellence. Right. I don't care the color of the skin of the pilot on my plane or in the air traffic control. But we've, for too long under Biden, cared about those things, emphasized those things, pushed real or perceived quotas. At the Defense Department, we're ending all of that. It's been made very clear across all of our services and commands. It is merit only. And that means we'll get the best of the best. And that's what our taxpayers and the American people expect and deserve. And in the business of warfighting, which the Defense Department is in, if you don't have the best of the best, you lose people. And that's why this is so important.
It is a betrayal of the American people to say that you are going to prioritize the hiring of people with severe intellectual defects to serve at the Federal Aviation Administration, the entity responsible for ensuring that every single passenger over American airspace safely takes off, safely flies, and safely lands. And again, what it does over a period of time to an agency is that it prevents that agency from developing the new systems, the new protocols, the new programs, the new priorities to constantly adapt and evolve airline safety. Because instead, you're always playing catch up. You're always playing cleanup. You're trying to put out fires. You're trying to stop things from falling apart. You can't build. You cannot learn. You cannot grow because you're not hiring based solely on qualification and competence. They have been playing games with America's public safety in a way that is unconscionable. And President Trump's made clear that he is not only, and he issued another order today, he's not only installing the highest standards possible, but the order President Trump issued today tells the Secretary of Transportation to review every hiring decision at the FAA over the last 4 years. And where someone was not hired based on merit, qualification, or competence, then that person needs to be replaced.
Wow. I'm not going to try to go so hard because people's lives were lost. And this is a extremely bad tragedy.
It's very sad.
The stuff I've seen over the internet for the past day has been
crazy.
Super sad. Like the lives that have been lost. I mean, the fact that it was, any lives, but the fact that it was mostly kids on that plane. It was crazy. That people were saying that. It's been mostly kids. People were coming, like, these kids were coming back from trips and stuff. It's insane.
No, I've been seeing them post tributes to some of the crash victims. It's been really sad.
Yeah, this is devastating, man. It's hurt my heart.
Yeah, it's the same airport we just flew out of, too.
That's what makes it more crazy.
For real.
Like, we landed in the Reagan airport literally a week ago.
Flew out of it a week ago.
It's a crazy way to start 2025. Like, and it's just more crazy that I think that this was 130% preventable in all ways. But I mean, I was hearing that military helicopter wasn't following orders and they took off anyway. Who knows if that's true or not?
I heard all type of conspiracies, so I don't know.
But at the end of the day, you have night vision goggles in the helicopter. But let's look at the new video that surfaced today that everybody's been pretty upset about.
These videos obtained exclusively by CNN show previously unseen angles of the collision between an American Airlines flight and a US Army Black Hawk helicopter. In the first video, the Black Hawk can be seen flying at speed over the Potomac from the left side of the screen. The American Airlines plane can be seen flying towards the airport before the two collide, causing a mid-air explosion and fall into the river. In the second video, you can see the Army helicopter and American Airlines plane travel toward each other. After the collision and subsequent explosion, the airliner can be seen spinning into the water, and the Black Hawk is also seen falling into the water.
Yeah, it just looks like a direct shot.
Yeah, so apparently the pilot of the Black Hawk was a woman and the American Airlines flight was a man. And people are upset because Trump said this could have been a result of DEI hiring. And they're somehow trying to say that DEI is an attack on black people. But if DEI was an attack on black people and there were no black people involved in this, then him blaming DEI would not be an attack on black people if you're a logically thinking person. So a lot of the outrage is kind of ridiculous.
From black people?
Yeah, they've been going crazy about this.
You know how they get, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into that today.
I just had to talk to some people back at home about this.
So,
it's just ridiculous. I can't even. I don't even.
Yeah, it's a lot of conspiracies going on, man.
Anything could be DEI.
I don't think that. Hopefully, I mean, they were just saying that the pilot was anti-Trump, but that's completely got to be conspiracy. That's
it's
insane.
all type of conspiracy. Hey, I was hearing at first they were trying to say the pilot was trans. I was hearing all type of crazy stuff.
That's false.
I was just like, man,
It's
I don't
just,
want to hear it. I just want the complete truth before I really. It's kind of hard, bro. It's a hard
let's just
situation.
say it's DEI, man. Because I mean, if you clearly can't see that, either this was some type of attack or she was completely incompetent. One of the two.
Yeah, she says. I saw. I don't know if this is a fact. I saw on X they said she only had 500 hours of flight experience, which is like the minimum amount you need, like just the amount you need to be able to fly. So.
I think that I've been somewhat effective. We also were able to get monumental legislation into the FAA Reauthorization Act that really flew under the radar, thank God. But this was funding to make sure that hopefully we can increase the number of African Americans and Hispanics that are entering aviation, which can be very expensive, but can obviously be very lucrative. And so we set up a situation where basically there will be full rides for those attending land grant HBCUs as well as HSIs to go into aviation.
What's an HSI?
In this crazy anti-DEI environment, we were able to get that done because we were working with everybody that mattered. So I do want people to know that we are working.
Did you see where?
Yeah, Trump get everybody gone.
Did you see where?
Please.
You see that on the Roland Martin show. Did you see where Roland Martin was mad because Trump said the 14th Amendment was invented for the children of slaves?
That was literally what it was for.
It was for the children of slaves and for the children of Confederate soldiers, because the Confederate soldiers seceded from the Union in the Civil War. So then once the South was destroyed after the Civil War, they moved up to the North and started having children, and their children will be American citizens.
Okay,
So
I kind of see now.
It'll be two of those. But he was mad saying, oh, it's just not about black people. But he's only mad because he's a child of an immigrant.
On this situation, I don't even want to bring up no nigga argument, period. I'm sorry, but like,
sorry, guys.
What niggas say, I'm sorry, it's so far out the window on this situation right here. Because what she just said just pissed me off on another level. From this DEI shit, I'm not gonna say this the reason why this happened, but man, this shit is causing lives to be lost. I'm sorry. People are not qualified. This is because this should have never happened. I'm not gonna blame it because there was a black person in there. It could, let's just say, I'm not gonna blame it because he's a woman either. But that's gonna be what people blame it on. Keep it 100. That's what people gonna blame it on.
It was 2 white pilots. One was a man. One was a woman. The American Airlines pilot was young. He's a young guy. He's only 28.
It completely wasn't his fault. He was doing his job. He was going straight into the airport. This is a military airplane. How don't you see a civilian airplane flying?
I just want to know who was like. I just want to hear. Do they record them, telling them on the aircom to stop or something?
That's gonna be the first video.
But they do have the comms. They said it's gonna be a month until we know what was said on the comms. They said at the beginning of the video.
It's like I don't want to make no speculations till I hear both of the intercom. Because when I hear the intercom of the directions. That's what's
so we gonna know who to blame.
Yeah, that's for right now. We got speculations on anything.
I'm gonna be 100. I'm still mad at the pilot in the helicopter, the Army helicopter.
Because like in my when I first saw the situation, I thought it was somebody didn't tell the person they was at the right altitude. And that's why the miscommunication came. But I don't know if that's the reason. We don't know. Somebody told them don't fly over here.
At the same time,
it's so much I don't know about. I'm just keeping it 100.
You have night vision goggles and you see a bright ass light in front of you.
But like you have a chopper, it's not easy just to swerve it or move it away. I think I don't know, but it's a big helicopter.
Trump said he confused on why I didn't go up
or down,
left, or right.
I am confused about that.
And you're in the military. So that's a problem. But it could be somebody that was in the control tower that messed up too. We gonna see, guys. But
I don't know. We don't truly know. Man. But like we just know we need some more evidence.
But lives are being cost because of this crap.
Yeah, that's sad, bro.
But let's get into the idiots blaming Trump.
They blame Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's the head dude.
They took it down, but
he's the head dude.
Bakari blamed Trump.
Hey, bro, you know we're going to come when you the head dude in charge. They're going to blame you. Like how we blame Karen Bassett, they're going to blame you.
That was completely her fault.
Well, I'm just lost at how this would be Trump's fault.
He can't. It's not his fault.
We have a presidential memorandum titled Immediate Assessment of Aviation Safety. In light of the damage done to aviation safety by the Biden administration's DEI and woke policies, what this presidential memorandum orders is for your Secretary of Transportation and FAA administrator, in this case acting FAA administrator, to basically ensure that we are actively undoing all of that damage, that we are assessing how much damage was done, and that we're ensuring that people hired within the FAA, in keeping with your memorandum of January 21st, are only the most outstanding, capable people for the jobs that they're being hired into.
In other words, competence.
Yes, sir. Elevating competence over everything else instead of the DEI policies that were pursued by the Biden administration.
I think everyone understands that. And Obama.
Yes.
Okay, but Biden much worse. Not even a contest. What they've done is just crazy in so many other ways. Okay?
Mr. President, to be clear, are you saying race or gender played a role in this tragedy?
It may have. I don't know. Incompetence might have played a role. We'll let you know that. But we want the most competent people. We don't care what race they are.
People mad about
this? We want
this?
the most competent people, especially in those positions. And you're talking about extremely complex things. And if they don't have a great brain, a great power of the brain, they're not going to be very good at what they do, and bad things will happen.
On the pilot side and on the control tower side.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
So I don't understand what's the problem with what was said.
You heard what Jasmine said.
So I don't give a fuck what Jasmine said.
You heard what she said.
So what is the problem with this? Like all my life I did sports.
They fought to put black people and Hispanic people in these positions.
See, it's kind of hard to just listen to that because, like, all my life I did sports. And I had to fight for every position I ever got and earned. Like, I had to work and get better.
The black people don't bring up the women or the white women that are, basically benefiting from this too. It was a white woman that did this, but they gonna bring up, just because he's saying it ain't. No black people, like you said, we're involved in this, and the black people still gonna be mad. So hey, that's why I say I don't care what niggas say at all.
Why black people only think DEI stand for them?
Because they want to be included. They want to be insulted. Niggas been oppressed so long. Now they get a thing that'll put them on equal ground. Oh, they're attacking us. You can tell that these niggas used to be slaves.
Cost over 60 lives.
To me, it brings into focus why these confirmation hearings are important in the first place. One of the common threads between all of these nominees has been the question, the correct one. Are they qualified to serve in these highest positions in government? You have more of these confirmation hearings happening today. Jerry Moran happens to sit on the Intel Committee, among others. He's one of the senators who we played from Kansas, who talked about the fact that he lobbied for this exact flight from Wichita to D.C. It again speaks to the way that members of Congress and others in Washington use DCA because it's so close and because it's so convenient. But it again brings into sharp focus that it's not partisan to question experience. In moments like this, it also underscores how important a transition is. There are all of these mechanisms in place to make sure that the incoming administration has all of the information that they need to hit the ground running. And this is an exact example of why you would want to know all of that information so that on day one, if you are the transportation secretary, as Sean Duffy is, you can come in and have a little bit of expertise about an otherwise unfamiliar place that you are walking into. And I think it's really important for us to keep that in mind, that as we go through these confirmation hearings, these are the exact moments that you want to have confidence in the individuals who are there and trust in the information that those individuals are able to bring you.
Well, that is a question, Willie, time and time again with all of these nominees. Their competence, whether they have the experience to run agencies, because when these things happen.
And when you see the air traffic actual video, this type of video, it's worse.
So the map?
Yeah. When you see the map, you can literally see them coming at each other in slow motion. So, I mean, somebody that was in the tower is 100% at fault. But if it come back and we hear them saying on the thing, hey, 100% the pilot's fault, and this could be an attack on American people from the soldier. Keep it 100. That's in my eyes. That's what I see it as.
That's a fair take, because I can't see no other way how this can happen, bro. Like, this is crazy, bro.
And then it's just like, okay, it's just you went right into the plane.
But like, I thought, like, pilots, I'm not a pilot, y'all, but I thought when you fly, you're supposed to stay at a certain altitude that is like designated for you in your flight. Or I'm tripping.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm tripping.
The plane was probably at a lower altitude because it's about to land. It's right outside the airport.
The Pentagon's right there, so like it was probably coming out of some military base or something, and I don't know, man. But
I'm just
technology's high. This shouldn't have happened. Preventable.
Yeah, but yeah.
Somebody messed up, and we're gonna figure out who it was.
The FAA website shows that the agency's guidance on diversity hiring were last updated on March 23rd of 22. They wanted to make it even more so. And then I came in, and I assume maybe this is the reason. The FAA, which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg, a real winner. That guy's a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run the Department of Transportation? He's a disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit. The Department of Transportation is government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity. So I had to say that it's terrible. Then it's a group within the FAA, another story, determined that the workforce was too white, that they had concerted efforts to get the administration to change that and to change it immediately. This was in the Obama administration just prior to my getting there. And we took care of African Americans, Hispanic Americans. We took care of everybody at levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's one of the reasons I won. But they actually came out with a directive, too white. And we want crazy. The people that are competent. But now we mourn and we pray and would like to ask all Americans to join me in a moment of silence as we ask God to watch over those who have lost their lives and bring comfort to the loved ones. And I just want to say God bless everyone in this room. This has been a terrible, very short period of time. We'll get to the bottom of it.
On DEI,
DEI and the claims
Wow.
you've made, are you saying this
Booty
crash was
jigs.
somehow caused and the result of diversity hiring? And what evidence have you seen to support these claims?
It just could have been. We have a high standard. We've had a much higher standard than anybody else. And there are things where you have to go by brain power, you have to go by psychological quality, and psychological quality is a very important element of it. These are various very powerful tests that we put to use, and they were terminated by Biden, and Biden went by a standard that's the exact opposite. So we don't know, but we do know that you had two planes at the same level. You had a helicopter and a plane. That shouldn't have happened. And we'll see. We're going to look into that, and we're going to see. But certainly for an air traffic controller, we want the brightest, the smartest, the sharpest. We want somebody that's psychologically superior.
Pete, bottom line, are
I've seen
DEI
that wrong.
policies at the FAA to blame?
I put my head in my hands, Pam, when the president said that. This is something that has been pushed by the far right for a few months now, that DEI policies are to blame in a degradation of safety in aviation in the United States. But frankly, the president is getting out ahead of his skis here. What he has said is not only unprofessional, unpresidential, inconsiderate of the status of this investigation, but frankly, it is just unhinged. That he could even say with any sort of certainty that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies had any part to play in this accident. Remember that 67 people are dead. I hate to get so upset here, but this is something that investigators will really need to pick apart piece by piece, and that is going to take some really significant time. We're not even 24 hours after this crash. We're barely even 12 hours after this crash. And he is saying with a lot of certainty that the blame is on DEI, and the blame is in some ways on air traffic control and air traffic controller hiring. I have to feel for the air traffic controllers in the tower at Reagan National Airport who had to essentially sit there helplessly and make the call to first responders to say we have a serious aircraft crash at 8:48 last night. Let's parse out some more of this, because it's really significant here that President Trump also put some of the blame on Democrats. He said that Transportation Secretary, now former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, engaged in BS. He actually used the full word live on television. The fact of the matter is that Transportation Secretary Buttigieg was very hard on aviation safety. There was a day-long safety stand down because of the rise of near collisions on the runways at commercial airports nationwide that really took off in 2023. I did a sit-down interview with Buttigieg. He was well-versed on the topic. He knew the points. He knew where the blind spots were, and the FAA and the Department of Transportation from the top down of the Biden administration was taking that problem very serious.
So what happened, buddy? Whose fault was it?
Well, we gotta wait till we hear the recording, bro.
It's gonna be somebody's fault.
And until that recording come out, when that recording come out, it's gonna expose everything.
And that's the thing, though. Either way, it's gonna be somebody's fault.
It's somebody's fault.
So and that's why it's not a bad assumption to say this could be possibly DEI, because it's gonna be somebody's fault. That's simply is what it is. It's somebody's fault. So hey, it's easy to say possibly this could be because of DEI, man. Let's see if J.D. Vance said anything.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. I just want to reemphasize something the President said, and you've heard from the Secretary of Transportation and of Defense. There really was a whole of government response. We were all on the phone. We were all communicating yesterday, trying to get to the bottom of this immediately, but also try to communicate with the American people about what happened. Something the President said that I think bears reemphasizing, which is that when you don't have the best standards in who you're hiring, it means on the one hand, you're not getting the best people in government, but on the other hand, it puts stresses on the people who are already there. And I think that is a core part of what President Trump is going to bring and has already brought to Washington, D.C. is we want to hire the best people because we want the best people at air traffic control, and we want to make sure we have enough people at air traffic control who are actually competent to do the job. If you go back to just some of the headlines over the past 10 years, you have many hundreds of people suing the government because they would like to be air traffic controllers, but they were turned away because of the color of their skin. That policy ends under Donald Trump's leadership because safety is the first priority of our aviation industry.
I just hate that it gets that deep because it's just like something happened and we got to figure out how it happened. That's simply what it is, you know? And I don't think that's a bad way to go about it, is blaming that possibly these policies that were put in place that have possibly messed up different jobs in the past and competence, like we see in LA, stuff happens. We've been seeing this all along, so it's just not. They're acting like, oh, this is just racist. Nothing's ever happened under DEI.
It's just crazy that Pete Buttigieg is in control of the FAA right now.
Yeah.
Or is he, or somebody else got that job? You should know.
No, he's not. He's the former.
So who's the new one?
I don't know. Let's find out. What's the name of the job? Secretary of Transportation or something?
I mean, it's just like I hate it's a political blame in this situation, man.
It's gonna happen,
the worst
bro.
part.
You know
yeah,
it
is, but like
Sean Duffy.
Who's Sean Duffy?
The Secretary of Transportation.
I'm saying what he look like.
White guy.
That's the current guy right now. We're gonna see whose fault it is, man.
Pete
Says he was a congressman from Wisconsin, served in Congress for 10 years. And he served on the House of Financial Services Committee and actively led local transportation issues.
If it was other people on this she was flying, right? So if it was another guy on there,
I don't know if that's true or not.
But that she was flying?
Because they tried to say she was trans.
But that's fake. We know, but she was on the plane. We know she's on the plane for sure. But,
For real?
Yeah, she's on the plane.
What plane?
The copter, the helicopter, the military helicopter.
Bro, I thought that was fake, bro.
No. She was on there,
But
bro.
they're saying she was a trans. That's
fake. Well, she's not. She's a regular woman. If she was there,
I'm looking at the
she's not
trans flag right now.
Whatever, bro. Just go past that. But I'm saying though, if the other guy that was on there,
Is that the pilot? I don't
Yeah.
think that's the pilot. That's not the
bro,
picture
that's
I
the
saw.
pilot, bro.
Are you sure?
She's not transgender.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Pilot. She's the pilot for sure.
I thought the pilot had brown hair.
No, but it's the only picture I've seen.
See, look at the community note.
They're saying, okay, we're saying that
But was not one of the pilots in the Black Hawk. I told you.
That's what I'm saying.
I told you. The
So-
pilot has brown hair.
That's why I'm messed
that's
up.
the only pilot I've seen.
Yeah.
No, that's not the
That's why I
pilot
said that was
saw.
fake. They just keep you messing me
Yeah,
up,
that's
gang.
not the pilot I saw.
That's all I kept seeing, and I kept hearing that was fake. So I'm trying to figure out what is facts and what's not
The
facts.
pilot that crashed this plane is white. Learn
That's
how to
the
fly.
that's the pilot of American Airlines.
I know, but like, it's not his fault.
It's not. He was very young as
The
well.
pilot that crashed this plane is white. Learn how to fly.
It's
I don't know,
alright,
but
bro.
why we blaming it on this shit, man? But all right, I'm not gonna get too upset, man.
It's because he said DEI. Man, black people think it's they getting attacked.
I don't understand why black people take DEI as an attack. I think anyone who encourages that rhetoric and ideology is a complete fucking moron.
Shit, Pete Buttigieg is DEI.
He is.
So
He
nobody
falls under the guise of DEI. He's
Exactly.
white and gay.
DEI.
That's DEI as it gets.
Hey.
White and gay.
Hey, but it's all right, man. Everybody gonna be in
See,
their
I'm telling
feelings.
you, so y'all seen another picture of a different pilot. I haven't seen one.
Yeah,
I keep seeing her.
I can't seem to find
I keep seeing
it.
her.
That's
why
what I'm saying. I
confused.
keep seeing that she's fake. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
messed
didn't
up.
see a blonde lady. I actually saw a brown haired lady. Is the one I saw.
Oh yeah, she's live. Okay, yeah.
yeah, no,
that's awesome.
she's posting. That's why I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, nah, that can't be it.
That's why I'm messed up out
Okay,
that.
well we're gonna figure out who. My bad, guys. False information.
Well, I had to, you was getting hot at me.
You got to
bro.
read them community notes, man. We can't be spreading misinformation,
I mean, when I seen her over 30 times, I said, "Hey, this got to be her."
bro. But this is the internet. Black people saying DEI's attack on them. You've seen that over 30 times.
I did.
Wow. I mean, this is just worse than a lot of stuff, man. It's worse than the New Orleans attack. This is worse than
No,
a
the
lot
New
of crazy
Orleans
stuff.
one was pretty bad.
But 60 people didn't die.
Yeah, I'm not going to compare the tragedies.
I'm just
They're
saying
both
that
bad.
this-
But
All
this
of
is
them was bad.
the reason that this is
It's
bad is
crazy.
because this is a horrific accident that could have been prevented. So the fact that all these people lost their lives is
crazy.
absolute travesty. The fact that people are politicizing
Could have
this
been anybody.
and having infighting on the sides of this is right, this is wrong, I think that's completely stupid. At the end of the day, people died, children died, law-abiding American citizens died. We need to get to the problem of what happened.
But somebody had to be blamed for it, bro.
Okay, and that's why the investigation is going to go, and we're going to get the information, the facts, and we're going to point the fingers properly. But preemptively pointing the finger, oh, this is because of this and that, is why we got these damn discussions now.
That's why I said I can't wait to hear the tape recorder. Who said what was said, and who didn't listen, who did listen.
The View said something. All right, guys. I mean, this is just a tragedy. I mean, it could have been prevented. It's a sad day, honestly. But let us know what y'all think in the comments.